Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Know the Truth, aka the Black Cinderella. I want to wish all the targeted individuals around the world, the countries, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I hope everyone is, waking up or having a productive day of being a targeted individual. I just wanted to come to you real quick about, you know, a sign that I didn't know at the time was a sign of being a targeted individual. But now that I've been living this targeted individual life for um, almost 3 years now, I just want to throw a sign out there that maybe could help others that, may be going through it that don't actually know what's going on. I remember one night I was laying down, and at this time it has been a couple of months that some really weird things, were happening. Obviously, I, assumed it was, someone playing, someone acting really stupid. I had no idea that I was being targeted at this time. So one night I'm laying there, and where I lived at that time was a quiet neighborhood, a cul-de-sac neighborhood. Very quiet at night because it was mostly seniors, on the street. A couple of younger uh, families that had smaller children the same age as mine's during that time. So, at night, the streets were pretty quiet. No matter what time it was at night, you never heard, any type of cars revving or, horns honking. You never heard, um, helicopters flying. Never. Unless it was a emergency or accident had happened around the area, and so something was going on because you're hearing some unusual noises. So one night, of course, I'm laying in the bed, and all of my children are in the room with me because at this time I'm kind of nervous and scared because I don't know exactly what was going on. And I heard a faint propeller sound, helicopter sound. And it just sounded like this helicopter was just hovering over my house. And I thought that was weird because I'm like, I've never heard it just a constant. I mean, just continuous sound of the propellers just going right above my home. So I thought, what the fuck is that? Like, okay, so I'm thinking maybe it's just a helicopter that's going about their business. But I mean, the sound was stationary. And I said, let me peek out this little corner of a window. Because at this point, I had, put the blinds up, put blankets over the blinds. I mean, I was just distraught. This was the first few months of being a targeted individual and not knowing. And I look outside and I see 6 or 7, 8 helicopters just in a circle above my home, right above the house. And I said, what the fuck is going on here? Like, they must be searching for someone. At this point, I'm like, it must have been an accident. So I'm on the internet trying to find out what accident was in the area. Did they have to airlift somebody to safety? What the fuck is going on? I didn't see anything. I ended up trying to stay awake as long as I could to see, when this noise would go away. And so I ended up falling asleep. And I woke up, and of course, there was nothing there. No helicopters, no sounds, no nothing. My day went on very confusing as it did during that time. And I was still trying to figure out how come, those helicopters were there. So as I went out and I seen a couple neighbors and I said, hey, did you hear, those helicopters flying? And of course they were like, no, I didn't hear anything last night. Like even the neighbor that lived right next door to me heard no sounds of helicopters. Like, you didn't hear those helicopters last night above the house? Like, Was it a, and I'm trying to feed for information, and they're like, no, we didn't hear anything. We were fast asleep. If they were there, we didn't, see or hear anything. And these were concerns to me because I'm like, okay, I know I'm not the only one hearing this shit and seeing this shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? So that night, and it was always around the same time. So I would say that night again, about 12:30, I had, laid the kids down, and all of a sudden again I hear, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I go outside again, I look outside again, and there they were, flying above me. These same helicopters that were there the night before. And this same type of harassment, I call it the air harassment, basically is still going on. It's never stopped. Never stopped. It's still an ongoing issue wherever I go. I see them and I try to ignore them as best as I could. I was taking some stuff to Goodwill or Salvation Army. I don't know. I was getting rid of a lot of electronic shit that I felt was being tampered with. And like I said, during these beginning stages, I had no idea who was doing it, why they were doing it, why my cords were switched out, why my computer cords were switched out. Why is everything fucking up? Why does things look a different color? Why does this look like this? So I started just collecting items that seemed to have changed before my eyes, and I put them in a box, and I put the kids in the vehicle, and we're driving up the street. And I look up to my right, and it's this one helicopter following me. Just everywhere I go, it's there. I'm going up the hill, it's there in the sky, right next to me. And I'm nervous, but I'm trying not to appear nervous because I don't want my children to be alarmed, because I still had no clue what the fuck was going on. I get to the Goodwill or whatever, drop the stuff off, and I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, that whatever that is gonna keep going. They're not gonna fucking, you know what I mean? They can't be following me. Like, what the fuck? I pull into the Goodwill parking lot, and lo and behold, that helicopter is stationary in the sky. And you can see it, you can hear it, and it's not going anywhere because now I'm not moving. So I get in the car and I told the kids, let's go grab something to eat real quick because I wanted to just verify to see maybe I'm bugging out. And we pull off, and sure enough, this damn helicopter pulls off too. And I tell you, it was at that time very scary, very alarming. And I'm thinking like, do I have any warrants? Like, what the fuck? Maybe, did I pay that traffic ticket back 3, 4, 5 years ago? Maybe they have a warrant out for me. Like, I'm just so confused at why this helicopter was in the air. And we were going through moving. We were getting ready to move from one city to the next city. And during the pack-in and everything, every night, those helicopters flew above my house. So the last night of us being there, it was about 11:30. I'm getting, the last little bits of stuff out the house to move to the next city. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, they're not gonna, from here, maybe they're watching the neighborhood, it just has to be something that's going on. And we hop in the truck, and I'm driving to another city, and out of nowhere comes this helicopter. And you can see the little light shining, and it's following you, and it's basically followed me to the next city. And I'm looking up in the air, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is weird. This is some weird ass shit that I don't know anything about, that I'm confused about, that I'm still confused about to this day. And here it is 3 years later. This is a sign that you are being gang stalked. I'm not sure why this is a sign, But this is a sign that's been very evident to me, that's been presented to me, that's still going on around me day in and day out. During the daytime, of course, you look up and oh yeah, I lost them. They're up there somewhere and they're waiting to, follow you wherever you go. And it can make people very uncomfortable. It can scare them. You think that your day is going to go by smoothly, but in all actuality, it doesn't, because you're being harassed and followed by these unknown objects or these crazy, fucked up people. And it can really bother you. I drove across country, across state to state, and I noticed that wherever I went, it didn't matter what state I was in, those fuck boys were up there in the air, just hounding me everywhere I went, and as a targeted individual, your life changes dramatically because now you're steady looking over your shoulder. You're steady trying to understand what's going on, how you can make this situation better or go away. And I find that this situation hasn't gone away. It hasn't disappeared out of my life. Some days are worse than others. But that's the one sign of the helicopters flying above you, the drones flying above you. Just be at ease with what's going on. You have to investigate, and you have to read and understand what it is and what's going on and why you have been chosen for this cruel endeavor. And you say, many days go by and you wonder if this is how life should be, if you are being punished for whatever cruel deed you may have done as a younger child, or as somebody put a hex on you. This is all things that run through a targeted individual's mind. And you have to learn that what's happening will continue to happen. You just have to find the balance and find your peace within yourself to accept that you are a targeted individual. And I just wanted to share that little bit of information for anyone who may hear those helicopters flying or see the drones above them wherever you go. Just know that the eagle eye is there, and they're watching your every move. And be careful, be aware of your surroundings, and don't forget to love yourself, to appreciate that whatever you're going through as a targeted individual, it will make you stronger, and do not let this defeat you. If you get a chance, check me out, SoundCloud, Know the Truth, 213-2222-64. I hope everyone has a great day and know that, you are loved.